Everyone. This video is going to go a little bit deeper into the concepts behind that whole parenting revolution workshop that's coming up. Because what I want to talk about today is what is a revolution in parenting and what are we moving away from when we decide to revolutionize our parenting? So to me, a revolution is just really getting rid of something old that's not serving us and replacing it with something new. And in terms of this parenting revolution, we're talking about literally changing and transforming the paradigm in which we approach parenting. It is massive, but it's also simple. Have you ever heard that expression, simple but not easy, right? So I think it is super helpful for us to look at what are we changing away from and why would we want to change? So this video is really about looking at some of the messaging and elements that are inherent in some of the old school approaches to parenting that we either inherited or absorbed, just kind of as a matter of course throughout our lives. Actually, a lot of the messages in old school parenting are awesome. Things like kids are able to entertain themselves. Kids can be responsible for themselves and go outside and play by themselves. Like that stuff is great. But there's also some stuff inherent in old school parenting that I find to be honest, truly insidious. And I spend a lot of my time helping my clients move away from those concepts. And those concepts, that what I'm talking about here, are things like the idea that we have to choose between being a tyrant or a pushover, right? You're either commanding and bossing around and forcing your kids to do the right thing, or you're just a total doormat and there's no in between. This is not true and it does not serve us. We're going to talk about that in the Parenting Revolution workshop because it's huge to just drop that like this or that dichotomy and realize like, oh, wait, there's a whole third option here. And we're going to talk about what that third option is. And now how about the old school idea that it's a parent's job to make our kids do right? We're supposed to get them to do X, Y, and Z. I get that question all the time. How can I get my kid to blah? We're supposed to control our kids' behavior and make them make good decisions. That's not a great concept. By the way, it's not possible. You can't control anybody but yourself. But it also sets us up for a lot of shame and blame and anger and all these parenting situations that we really want to get away from. We are getting ourselves into them with these old school ideas. So let's not do that anymore. And we're going to talk in the workshop about what to do instead. And then there's this old school idea that is kind of my pet concept that I'm always trying to break away from is if your kid is struggling, it's your fault, first of all. So my kid's a wild child in the grocery store. It's definitely because I'm a bad mom, right? But the flip side, that second element is the idea that however you feel about your kid, that's your kid's fault. If I'm angry or worried about my kid, it's because they're doing something upsetting or worrisome. My kid and their behavior are what is responsible for my emotions. So if they behave bad, it's my fault. If they make me sad, that's their fault. This is literally the foundation for codependency. But I'm not going to bore you with psychobabble. Just know that that's not a great idea. It's not a great way to go into a relationship. So we're not going to do that anymore. And we'll talk about in this workshop what to do instead and how to approach things instead. And the last thing is this idea about when things aren't going well. You either have to shame or blame yourself or somebody else. Ugh. These concepts that are inherent in these older paradigms don't serve us and they don't serve our kids. So I want to offer in this workshop that better is possible. It is possible to literally throw out the old and come in with something new, a revolution in parenting that's based on strong relationships, based on teaching life lessons and trusting that those two things are actually all you need to improve behavior. They work better than all the punishment and pleading and dysfunctional ways of approaching parenthood that we've been taught to do. If that sounds something that's interesting to you, that you're ready for, I am ready for you. And I cannot wait to see you. Remember, you have two choices in when you attend this workshop. You can either do a Sunday night or Monday during the day. And if you're registered, you will get access to a replay. So don't worry if you can't make it live. Try your best. If you can, that's the best. But if you can't, it's no worries. Register using the link that's in the video description. I cannot wait to see you soon. Bye, everybody.